Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of DMS 3000 News Live. It's episode 83 on this Friday, December 8th, 2023. We made it to Friday, folks. Thank God, right? And we hope that you had a fantastic week with us here on the program as we looked into some fantastic stories. And we're going to leave you with even more fantastic stories that might pick your brain and give you some information. So these articles today are ones that I wanted to share with you for quite some time. And this first article, well, you're not going to believe it. I've been looking all over for this article for a while. But anyways, first off, let me introduce myself, of course. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jason DeCanio, the host of DMS 3000 News Live, 5 days a week here on the program on the David 3000 Network. Okay? And we're cruising along, doing fantastic, ready to go with another episode tonight. Okay, first up on the program is one that I never thought I would find. And here is a great article, lengthy as it is. Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. What's the difference? There's a lot of difference as far as what people taste, what people associate with, and what's more refreshing. And, you look at 0 calories to Diet Cola, you look at the ingredients, you say to yourself, what do I want in my body and what I don't want? Well, I'm a Coke Zero fan. I used to be a Diet Coke drinker. Then I realized that Diet Coke has a synthetic taste to it. And that's being honest. A lot of people probably would answer the same way if they drank enough Diet Coke to realize it. We're going to give you the differences. So take lots of notes on this one. Get a pencil and paper because there is some important facts that you might want to evaluate on this particular topic. Then here's an interesting, funny one for Friday. Why does Swiss cheese have holes in it? Here's a great question. I don't think anybody gave an answer to over the course of the time that we've been eating cheese. I like Swiss cheese very much. And I always was curious how the holes got in there. Why the holes? What was the reason? We're going to answer that question as well today on the program. And for all you people out there who use a lot of windshield wiper fluid, and I'm one of those, does the color of windshield wiper fluid matter? Well, you'd be very surprised to see that it's not all color blue. There's a lot of different colors in there. I think they even throw a recipe for homemade windshield washer fluid that probably actually works better because it's vinegar based. We'll give you all that important information later on in the program. Plus, headlines, sports, and other important information. What day is today? And I got a good one for you. Found out today that there was a very yummy holiday today. And our motivation of the day at the end of the program. So we've got all of that. Don't forget tonight at 8 o'clock, Chillin' 3000 Hangouts, Fridays at 8 p.m. I don't know what David's cooking for us tonight on the program, but maybe he's got a special guest. If he lets me know later on, I can announce it for you. And also, too, Let's Talk Football is new episodes are Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the David 3000 Network. Join myself and David St. Dennis and Victor and Jester, and we'll all have a good time talking about the previous week of football and the week ahead that's coming up. And also, of course, new episodes of Wipe Those Tears Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, me and Brandon Bogart and Gianni Pizzi and Mark Leota all gather around for another episode of Wipe Those Tears where we grade anything and everything. And we're going to be continuing our look at NES games, but we've got some fantastic Christmas programs ready for you in the next 2 weeks. So we'll be announcing those, and I will, of course, give you a little heads up prior to that week as well. So, with all that said, we are here with about 17 days left to Christmas, and it should be an exciting one. It's getting cold over here in Florida, as we should have it. You know what I mean? Right. But we're going to look at, of course, we're going to start our day off, of course, with the headlines, sports, and other important information for you. Let's go ahead to NPR and get you ready to go. I'll put the full screen up. And right now, This one is a sad one here, unfortunately. Remember, I told you about NPR, one being one-sided. They love this stuff. Well, Trump gag order is partially upheld in January 6th case. The appeals court ruling would allow Trump to make public statements about the special counsel in the case, Jack Smith, but not other prosecutors, court staffers, or their family members. You know, this is just another one of those violations of free speech that these stupid-ass courts really are inflicting on a man who pretty much is trying to give the American people a realization that the justice system is so corrupt, so ridiculously rigged, and manipulated by left-wing judges, left-wing prosecutors, and no fair trial at all. There is not one Republican or one conservative on that judge or jury at any given moment in New York, and I don't think that the former president has a chance at a fair trial unless he goes to an appellate court and appeals whatever decision comes down on him. So in this case, yes, it's partially upheld. Thank God he's got a little bit of a break here. He could probably talk about it, but I wouldn't hold back anything on these scumbags at all. So keep on going there, Mr. President to be. You got my support, but you got to really keep pressing on here. How a top economic advisor to Biden is thinking about inflation and the job market. The latest numbers show a strong picture for the U.S. economy, yet many Americans have a pessimistic view. Here's how an advisor to Joe Biden says they're addressing that. California faces a record $68 billion budget deficit, analyst says. The nation's most populous state, with an economy that is the fifth largest in the world, has been struggling with the rising prices of most goods and services. You know, folks, when you're trying to balance a budget and you're balancing your own home budget, it's really easy to do. We're talking about a state that is run by a liberal Democrat dumbass named Gavin Newsom, okay? And I'm not going to hold anything back on this guy. This idiot, the governor, has no idea how to run a state, let alone people are moving out of the state because they can't stand his policies. There's a lot of homelessness going on, and he basically had the Chinese emperor come in and literally sit there with him and say, this is a great place. They literally gave the Chinese emperor access to the state of California. That's how bad our country is getting, folks. When governors, mayors, presidents, anyone on the left decide to bring the enemy in, we're facing tough times here, folks. And if we don't do anything about it in the next 7 to 8 months, we're in real trouble. Nikita Mandela on climate apartheid and how to stay hopeful and her granddad's legacy. The eldest grandchild of Nelson Mandela had a busy week speaking at the climate summit, COP28, about the need to aid the global south and throwing a party to mark the 10th anniversary of his passing. Putin will seek another presidential term, aiming to extend his grip on Russia. Vladimir Putin moved to prolong his repressive and unyielding presidency for at least another 6 years, announcing his candidacy in the election next March that he is all but certain to win. Sure, because no one is brave enough to run against this idiot. Look at it. Look at this guy. I swear to Christ, man. It's like, really? Do we really? This puke right here, this idiot, is what is destroying this world right now. This skinny little shrimp who thinks he knows everything. Okay, folks, I got some in the important information for you. Back to, of course, our look at the headlines here. Got off a little course, but that's okay. The labor market stays robust with employers adding 199,000 jobs last month. U.S. employers added 199,000 jobs in November, higher than the 150,000 jobs created in the previous month, reflecting in part the return of striking UAW and Hollywood workers. Hunter Biden's second indictment, college presidents under fire. Hunter Biden faces new criminal charges related to his failure to pay federal taxes, and the presidents of 3 elite colleges are under scrutiny for their testimony at hearings on campus anti-Semitism. A vaginal ring that discreetly delivers anti-HIV drugs will reach more women. In sub-Saharan Africa, women are at high risk of contracting HIV. Some protective measures carry a stigma, but this device enables them to take control without anyone knowing. Unique ways Americans celebrate the holidays, from skiing Santas to Festivus feats. Here's how communities across the U.S. put their own spin on Christmas, Hanukkah, and even Festivus celebrations. From Santas who ski and surf to trees made of tumbleweed, sand, and lobster traps. Treasures destroyed and masterpieces in vaults, wars toll for art in Israel and Gaza. And after the Hamas attack on October 7th, curators in Israel raced to lock their most precious museum items into safe storage. In Gaza, the fighting has caused damage to more than 100 cultural landmarks. California expands insurance access for teens seeking therapy on their own. A new California law will allow low-income teens on Medicaid to get therapy without parental approval. That's already allowed for teens on private insurance, but the change aroused opposition. From Riz to Liz to Penguins going zzz, it's the weekly news quiz. 'Tis the season for end-of-year lists and honors, which means today's quiz practically all wrote itself. Thanks, Wikipedia, Oxford, Pantone, and Time. NPR's most popular self-help and lifestyle stories of 2023. This year, you loved our stories about relationships with your partners, your friends, and yourselves, and you wanted practical guidance on how to meal prep, declutter, and take care of your teeth. A postcard from the lesser-known candidate forum, a New Hampshire primary tradition. In New Hampshire, it's relatively easy to get your name on the presidential primary ballot, so there's a slew of lesser-known candidates seeking a spotlight for ideas and, well, performance art. Hanukkah celebrations inspire Jewish joy despite war and increasing anti-Semitism. The war between Israel and Hamas, as well as the rise in anti-Semitism, has many Jews unsure how to celebrate Hanukkah this year. Some say they're focusing on hope and hospitality in dark times. House votes to censure Representative Jamal Bowman for pulling fire alarm. Since January, the chamber has seen the removal of a member from a committee, the first ouster of a speaker in history, and the expulsion of a lawmaker for only the third time since the Civil War. Hunter Biden is indicted on federal tax charges. A federal grand jury in the Central District of California returned the indictment charging the president's son with 3 felony tax offenses and 6 misdemeanor tax offenses. Centurion Pearl Harbor survivors returned to honor those who were killed 82 years ago. 5 survivors returned to Pearl Harbor 82 years later on the anniversary of the attack to remember the more than 2,300 servicemen killed in the assault that propelled the U.S. into World War II. Emhoff says 3 college presidents showed a lack of moral clarity on anti-Semitism. Doug Emhoff, the husband of Vice President Harris, is the highest level official to criticize the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania for their testimony this week. Pantone's color of the year is peach fuzz. The color consistency says the gentle peach tone highlights our desire for closeness, compassion, and well-being. The orange-pink hue is meant to bring comfort and beauty to a digital world. Women candidates in the race for big money. A woman has never been president. Hillary Clinton has come the closest, but that highest, hardest glass ceiling is still intact. Now Republican Nikki Haley wants to succeed where her predecessors have not. And there you have it, folks. The news from NPR. Now we go to NBA scores. A lot of action going on. There was only 4 games last night. I think so. Yeah. 2 games. And they were, 2 games yesterday. The Pacers beat the Bucks in the semifinal game of the NBA in-season tournament, 128-119. And the Lakers took care of the Pelicans, 133-89. Tonight's games have the Pistons at the Magic at 7 o'clock. Tip-off with the Hawks and 76ers in Philadelphia at 7. Raptors going to go visit the Hornets in New Orleans. Wizards will come down to Barclays Center to play the Nets at 7:30. The Knicks will go to Boston Garden to play the Celtics at 7:30. Warriors will go over to Oklahoma City to play the Thunder. and that's at 8 o'clock. You have the Cavaliers going to Miami, play the Heat at 8 o'clock. Timberwolves and Grizzlies, tip-off is at 8. Bulls and Spurs at 8:30. Kings at Phoenix at 9 o'clock. The Rockets will take on the Nuggets at 9. Clippers will take on the Utah Jazz at 10 o'clock. And the Mavericks and the Trailblazers will do battle at 10 o'clock in Portland. We now go to NHL scores. Get those up there for you. And look at those beautiful scores, man. There was a lot of them yesterday. Sabres beat the Bruins, and the Bruins are slipping a little bit. They were once the dominating team in the National Hockey League, now faltering a little bit. They lose to the Sabres 3-1. It was the Maple Leafs 4, Senators 3. Sharks over the Red Wings 6-5. Kings shut out the Canadiens 4-0. It was the Islanders 7, Blue Jackets 3. Stars over the Capitals in a shootout. Take that, Stars. You win 5-4. Predators over the Lightning 5-1. The Blackhawks upsetting the Ducks. Oh my goodness. The Blackhawks win 1-0 in a big final. It was the Flames over the Hurricanes 3-2. Jets over the Avalanche 4-2 in Colorado. The Flyers take care of the Coyotes in Phoenix 4-1. Canucks shut out the Wild at home 2-0. And a shocker, the Devils beat the Seattle Kraken 2-1 on the late game. Tonight's games are only 3. We have the Penguins and the Panthers facing off at 7 o'clock. It's the Blues and the Blue Jackets at 7, and the Minnesota Wild will go to Edmonton at 9 o'clock to face the Edmonton Oilers. And wouldn't you know it, I heard from the grapevine that, oh my goodness, the Thursday night game, the Thursday night game was unbelievable as the Patriots beat the Steelers 21-18. Let's take a look at the record. The Patriots only win for the third time. They go 3-10, but they upset the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in the playoff hunt at 7-6. They win the game 21-18 on the Thursday night game. There are a lot of Patriots fans, including my boss and Eric Lima, and anyone else from Massachusetts who are happy that the Patriots did win. So, yeah, more to you on it. Texans will play the Jets at 1 o'clock. These are the 1 o'clock games. Rams and Ravens in Baltimore. Panthers at Saints. Colts at Bengals. The Buccaneers will go to Atlanta to play the Falcons. The Jaguars will play the Browns in Cleveland. The Lions will take on the Bears at 1 o'clock. In the 4 o'clock game, we have the Seahawks and the 49ers. The Vikings and the Raiders at 4:05. Broncos and Chargers. Bills at the Chiefs at 4:25. And the Sunday night game of the week. This one is a big one, folks. This could be the biggest game for the Cowboys as they take on the Eagles. This is for division conquering. This is for control of the division right now. The Cowboys win. They even the record. They take over the record that the Eagles have had for most of this season. If they lose, they falter again, and the Eagles will go to 11-3. The Cowboys will go to 10-4. The Cowboys still have a chance in the playoffs to make the playoffs, despite the great record. But this, in order to get over the hump, they're going to have to do this. They're going to have to win this game and win big. 2 Monday night games, the Packers at the Giants and the Titans at the Dolphins. Very interesting on the Monday night games. Nothing of interest there. We'll let you know what's going on with that, with more of the NFL on next Tuesday. And, of course, what's going on with Let's Talk Football. So keep an eye on that as well. All right, so that's all for today on sports. You've seen it. Now for the other important information I wanted to pass along to you. You know, folks, you look at some of these headlines and you say to yourself, how in the world can we get through this? Well, it's a scary situation, but you know what? You know, you would think Russia doesn't like Vladimir Putin at all. I don't blame the Russian people for this war. I don't blame them at all. I blame Vladimir Putin for starting this war against Ukraine. He is the sole responsibility person who needs to be held accountable for it. He's a wimp. This guy's a wimp. And yet he holds so much power. You know, You were not given that power there, Mr. Putin, unless it was given above by God. And if you have any brains in your head, you use them, and stop attacking a country that literally just wants peace. I don't know what to tell you, but I wish that the Russian people would have a say in who would be their prime minister or the premier or the dictator instead of Vladimir Putin. Why is it that no one would can go up or will go up against this puny, innocent, puny little scumbag who literally is destroying the entire world? Why is it no one will go up against this guy and put this son of a gun in his place? I wonder. Have we really gone to that point where we're going to have skinny little guys who weigh less than 150 pounds, have no meat on their bones, have no hair on their head, and literally just sit there and go, and just point fingers? Really? Is that the kind of leaders you want running your country, folks? I wouldn't want to live there if I were you. So, maybe we ought to get some muscle-bound guys with some meat on their bones that weigh about 300, 400 pounds, that look tough, look like they can run the country, and have some sort of knowledge of what's going on to take care of their country. Because as far as I'm concerned, Vladimir Putin does not care about his country. He does not care about people in general. All he cares about is money, power, greed, and everything in the book that makes him a dictator. Same thing with the Chinese guy, too. Xi Jinping. This guy looks like he could just play freaking pickleball all day and tell the country how to live its life. I wouldn't want to live in these countries. They're probably nice to visit, but would I want to be under the control of some of those? No, not even close, folks. Okay? We need leaders who can pretty much lead. And if there's anybody out there that can do the job, please go after it with passion, speak your voice, make yourself known, because somewhere along the line, we're looking at some bad stuff. All right. When we come back, we're going to take a break and look at what day is today. And I know what day it is because I myself was told on the radio that today is a very interesting day food-wise. So we'll be back with what day is today and much more right after this.
Dear Santa, how are you? Oops. Oh. My little brother Joey asked me to write you. He's only 5. Here are a few things he hopes you'll bring the family this Christmas. Grandma helped with everybody's sizes. We've grown a lot since last year. Oh yeah, favorite colors. Grandma, yellow. Joey kind of likes green. And me. Santa, you're not going to believe what Joey wants. Baseball cap, sleeping bag, a sled, a bike, make it red, and a drum. Mom says you can leave out the drum. Santa, Joey knows that Christmas is more than gifts and stuff, and that giving is more important than getting. I guess little kids forget that sometimes. Well, Merry Christmas, Santa. Your friends, Joey and Ted.
There's a place where Christmas dreams come true. The Kmart Toy Store. Look inside and see what we've got. All the great new toys you and your kids will love a lot. We've got cars and trucks and helicopters. That should come as no surprise. And dolls and phones and board games for kids of every size. With Hasbro, Bradley, Mattel, Kenner, Fisher-Price, and Ideal, all the makers you've come to trust. We've been stocking up with a big Christmas rush. But before any of those toys make it to the shelf, we give them something very nice. We pick them up and give them a low, low Kmart price. Christmas dreams can come true. It's certainly happened before. And there's a place that makes the dreams real easy on you, the Kmart Toy Store.
I got a feeling I'm going to get something really good this Christmas.
Kmart, we've got it, and we've got it good.
Shop Ames Wrap-Up Christmas Sale now. There's still good selections for all your gift needs. Entire stock of Junior and Mrs. outerwear reduced 25%. Many styles and colors to choose from. And great gifts for all the men on your list. Our entire stock of men's active separates, jackets, and pants reduced 25%. Wrap up Christmas with big, big savings. All AIM stores open late every night.
This time of year, every year, it's gift shopping, tree trimming, card sending, entertaining. So when I find something that saves me time, I go for it. Like party trays from the Kroger Delicatessen. They've got 16 varieties, each made to order, so I get just what I need. This year, save yourself some time. Order a party tray from the Kroger Delicatessen.
Pick up your party guide at the Kroger Delicatessen.
Clear, crisp, and bright. 7-Up has the feeling of Christmas.
We got the best tree they had and special gifts for Mom and Dad. It's the best time of year. Now everyone's here. Toll House, it's good to be home.
Chocolatey, warm Toll House cookies made only with Nestle Toll House morsels. Make your house a Toll House.
Toll House, it's good to be home.
Well, today is National Brownie Day for all those who are wondering what holiday it is. And boy, it's a sweet one indeed. And we've got a great history to look on this fantastic sweet that we've been eating for probably most of our lives. Why not, right? Well, yes. Every year, brownie lovers come from far and wide to celebrate National Brownie Day. Warm, chewy, and rich, a nice chocolate or a blondie brownie is the perfect dessert to end your night with. Indulge in gooey goodness and let the real world melt away with you for a delectable moment. Legend has it that the creation of brownies hails from the Palmer House Hotel in 1893. Bertha Palmer, a prominent Chicago socialite whose husband overowed the hotel, asked the pastry chef for a dessert suitable for ladies attending the Chicago World's Columbian Exposition. She requested a cake-like delicacy small enough to be included in boxed lunches. The result was the Palmer House brownie with walnuts and an apricot glaze. The modern Palmer House Hotel serves a dessert to patrons made from the same recipe. The name was given to the dessert sometime after 1893, but was not used by cookbooks or journals at the time. By 1907, the brownie was well established in a recognizable form, appearing in Loney's cookbook by Maria Willett Howard as an adaptation of the Boston Cooking School recipe for a Bangor brownie. It added an extra egg and an additional square of chocolate, creating a richer dessert. The name Bangor brownie derives from the town of Bangor, Maine, which legend states was the hometown of a housewife who created the original brownie recipe. Maine food educator and columnist Mildred Brown Schrump was the predominant proponent of the theory that brownies were invented in Bangor. And while the Oxford Companion to American Food and Drink refuted Schrump's premise that Bangor housewives created the brownie, the Oxford Encyclopedia of Food and Drink in America said it had discovered evidence to support Schrump's claim in the form of several 1904 cookbooks that included a recipe for Bangor brownies. So, 1893 to 1904, to the Brownie Scouts in 1914, to 1921, Betty Crocker The Washburn Crosby Company created the Betty Crocker to answer thousands of customer questions about baking. So that was the final thing. And we all know about Betty Crocker. Well, here are some national brownie stats for you. Are we surprised? Well, 2 billion brownies. Definitely not. Brownies can be consumed on any occasion, and making these bad boys at home is only part of the fun. 1988 knew what they were doing when they gobbled down 2 billion of these tasty treats. And with so many ways to customize and create your perfect brownie, there's endless ways to enjoy it without getting tired of the chocolatey goodness. Whether it be a nut allergy, an aversion to nuts, or simply being a brownie purist, 60% of brownie lovers prefer their brownies nut-free. The magical thinking about brownies is no matter how you eat them, they're always delicious. So if you like it purely gooey and chewy, or if you prefer a little crunch in your munch, you're doing the right thing already just by eating a brownie. The only way you can be wrong is by not liking brownies at all, but those people don't exist, right? And a little resistance in your brownie doesn't hurt. And what better way to get that magical texture than by biting into a deliciously baked end piece? Oh, the burnt ends, yeah. Of course, we don't want the entire brownie to have that texture. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. But saving that small bit of something special for the end of your brownie consumption is definitely the way to go. So, stuff your face today. Obviously, that would be our go-to choice. In all honesty, what else would you expect for a day dedicated to something as amazing as this? Take the day to try new kinds of brownies that you've never tasted, and don't forget to bring milk. And spread the word that today is National Brownie Day by posting your best pictures on social media. Inspire your followers to get out there and try new brownies for themselves. And as mentioned above, there are a variety of brownie recipes out there. Invite your pals over for a night of brownie taste testing and supply a brownie bar of different kinds. We recommend double fudge, Oreo, mint, walnut, and caramel brownies. And why we love this day? Well, ding, 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 ding. Vanna, show them what they've won. They're delicious, and their brownies are rich in flavor and definitely a guilty pleasure of ours. No matter hot or cold, they are delicious. Don't believe us? We dare you to tell us otherwise. And watch me whip, watch me bake. Bake. Aren't baking brownies a blast? Well, always remember that preparation is key. Pick your favorite ingredients and use some of the amazing recipes below in the content section. And think about those movie scenes of dealing with breakups by eating chocolate. Why do you think that is? It's because they make you happy. And release the mood-enhancing chemical serotonin. So don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself to some delicious brownies. Yes, that's a very good day as well. And getting the first bit here for National Chocolate Cake Day would be great. Also, National Cheesecake Day, also in July. I think we covered that one as well. We might cover it again next year. I may have to look at the archives for that as well. But there you have it, friends. National Brownie Day in all of its shape and glory. Yes. Let's see. So also, too, I noticed that we have National Lard Day as well. Yeah, for all you guys and gals out there that use lard in everything from frying to baking, this is your day. Yeah, after being shunned for decades, lard is now resurging as a more nutritious substitute for processed oil and butter. On this day, learn about different ways to introduce lard into your everyday cooking, from frying and baking to simple pan searing. Lard is versatile enough to be incorporated into any type of food, and in addition, lard is minimally processed, unlike other artificial trans fats. Learn more about the health benefits of this animal fat in our food culture today. Pig fat has been a staple in various cooking forms for centuries. In fact, it was viewed as equally valuable as pork itself. During the 19th century, lard reached the same prominence as butter. Its popularity quickly rose in North America and Europe, and with its supply and demand peaking. By the 20th century, lard overtook butter and vegetable oils as a widely used fat substitute because it's cheaper and more readily available. However, lard's reputation was quickly met with negative publicity after it was criticized for being less healthy than other types of oil. And to add more fuel to the fire, the release of Upton Sinclair's novel The Jungle painted lard in a negative light, worsening its reputation. The bad publicity surrounding pig fat led to the introduction of vegetable shortening in the early 1900s, making it possible for vegetable oils to be used as a solid fat, ideal for baking. E.C. Kaiser, a German chemist, was the one who formally introduced this invention to food companies. In 1907, he went to Procter & Gamble and presented the ball of fat. It looked and cooked like lard, but without any pig fat involved. Instead, it was hydrogenated cottonseed oil. This invention led to the introduction of a popular product that changed cooking forever, Crisco. In June of 1911, Crisco was primarily used as a lard substitute. It slowly yet steadily dominated American food culture and became a staple in every household by the 1960s. At this point, lard was almost entirely replaced. It wasn't until the 1930s that chefs and food experts rediscovered lard's unique qualities. This resurgence happened during the discovery of vegetable oil's negative trans fat content. Lard's popularity continued into the 2000s, and it is once again in demand in the culinary industries of North America and Europe. Here's the timeline. Started in the 19th century with lard over butter. Yep. Early 1900s, lard's negative publicity. Yes, the demand slows down for the following reason of Upton Sinclair's novel, The Jungle, which generated bad publicity for the product. A lard without pig fat. Yeah, lard without pig fat. German chemist E.C. Kaiser introduces hydrogenated cottonseed oil to Procter & Gamble, leading to the invention of Crisco. 1911, Crisco replaces lard. The rise of Crisco in the 60s and lard's resurgence in the 90s as chefs and food experts rediscover the unique qualities of lard in cooking, making way for its resurgence in the culinary industry. So, what are you going to do today? You're going to buy lard from the local market. Yes, buying lard from the local market, you're also supporting local farmers. This will help boost the local lard industry and help the local economy. Enjoy a platter of crispy fried chicken. Yeah, one of the most popular ways to use lard is in fried chicken. Nothing beats crispy and juicy fried chicken. Lard is known for elevating fried food to the next level. And lard isn't just for savory cooking. It's also known for making flakier pie crusts while adding another depth of flavor. From cakes and pies to pastries, lard is an excellent substitute for butter in baking. Lard is also good in my favorite type of sugar cookies as well, as I mentioned a couple days ago. Here's 5 fun facts about it. It has large fat crystals, and unlike oil, the fat crystals that are ideal for shortening. Yep, has large ones. It has a high smoking point compared to butter. Lard has a higher smoking point, and there's no need to refrigerate it. It can stay solid at room temperature, and it exceeds its expiration date. It lasts for a couple of months after it's been expired. Leaf lard is a great lard variant. Yes, leaf lard is a variety made from pig's kidneys. Ugh. I don't know how disgusting we had to get with that, but we gave it to you. Why we love this day? Well, it's something new. If you grew up using butter in food, lard is a new substitute you might want to try. Not only is it cheaper, but it's also minimally processed. And if you're looking for a way to make your food taste richer, lard's the answer. It has a higher fat content that makes all types of dishes tastier, richer, and more scrumptious and sumptuous. And it's eco-friendly. Lard doesn't oxidize and break down, lessening harmful free radicals. Unlike other oils, like extra virgin olive oil, lard leaves no carbon footprint from high-temperature cooking. So you can deep fry safely with lard and know that your chicken is going to come out crispy and juicy. And yeah, and if you even have a cast iron pan, you have a double combination that really makes chicken even taste better. So there you have it, friends. Lard, National Lard Day today. On what day is today? Okay, let's go and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to look at our first article of the day. Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. What's the difference? Get a pencil and paper for this one, folks. This is the one you want to take notes on. We'll be back with that fantastic article and see where we go right after this.
Wednesday, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, together for the holidays in a musical, magical Yuletide celebration. Kenny and Dolly, a Christmas to remember.
This Christmas, people are being very choosy.
Merry Christmas. It's perfect. Snoopy and Woodstock. Oh, thank you, my dear.
If you want to do something that'll be genuinely appreciated, be choosy and get Genuine Bell. Because when you get right down to it, this isn't the phone. This is.
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
For me?
It's for you.
Be choosy, get Genuine Bell.
Season's greetings. I am the Invisible Man. You may be planning an old-fashioned Christmas as I am, but that doesn't mean you have to use old-fashioned cellophane tape. Note how shiny it looks on the gift wrap, while Scotch Magic transparent tape keeps packages pretty. It's virtually invisible. So do your own disappearing act with Scotch brand Magic transparent tape.
Christmas is a time for closeness, and closeness is what Norelco razors are all about. The shiny new silver rotary razors in cord and rechargeable models with 36 blades, 9 closeness settings, and no gotchas. And the Ladybugs, the ladies' razors that really work. And the Ladybug Salon, a ladybug razor plus 11 grooming attachments. Norelco, even our name says Merry Christmas.
Hallmark presents Keepsake Ornaments for Christmas 1978. Designed like beautiful ornaments from Christmas past, with Hallmark care and craftsmanship. And Hallmark ornaments are just the gift for Christmas present to treasure a special event like baby's first Christmas. Many Hallmark ornaments are dated keepsakes too for Christmas future, because they return every year. Hallmark Keepsake Ornaments, wherever Hallmark cards are sold.
A McDade's Christmas is family fun with the Magnavox Odyssey 2 video computer game. McDade's price, now just $129.90. And you get 2 free game cartridges, an $84.90 suggested retail value, direct from Odyssey. And McDade's has the sensational new Odyssey 2 voice and sound effects module on sale too, for just $79.90. This year, make it a McDade's Christmas.
Scrooge here. I've turned over a new leaf after leafing through Sears Gifts of Value supplement from the newspaper. Why, when a codger like me goes from no Christmas list to this, Sears Super Values help. Look, I'm giving a microwave to cook the holiday bird, clothes to warm their spirits, a color TV, and powerfully handy craftsman tools. The Sears supplement in this week's paper offers you a generous helping of ideas, too. And that's no humbug.
Sears, where America shops.
The difference? Savings. Savings on Cabbage Patch Kids accessories by Coleco. Almost real accessories so they can take special care of those adorable adopted cuties. Important accessories no little mother can do without. And the kids will love them too.
The big difference? Prices that'll make you sing Merry Christmas.
Bradley's the Christmas store.
Well, does Coke Zero and Diet Coke have the same ingredients and same flavor? Well, you might be surprised by the results of our research. Yes, Coke Zero versus Diet Coke, a clash to the titans. Now, I'm an 80s kid, and for decades, Diet Coke was my beverage of choice. Sorry, Tab, your pink cans were stylish, but the soda was no good. Diet Coke came out in the summer of 1982, and it was the Star Wars of low-cal drinks. Light years better than any other diet beverage. And for the first time, a diet soda existed that didn't remind you that it was low-calorie with every sad sip. I couldn't imagine Coca-Cola ever making a different diet soda. But then in 2005, along came Coke Zero. Someone in the Coca-Cola labs wanted to make a diet drink that tasted more like a full sugar Coke. Did it work? Do these two beverages really have a different taste, or is Coke Zero just a trendy name? Here's why the Coca-Cola logo is red and always will be. So, Diet Coke and Coke Zero both have zero sugar and calories, and the ingredients list are similar too. Both consist of carbonated water, caramel color, phosphoric acid, potassium benzoate, aspartame, natural flavors, and caffeine. Though you can buy caffeine-free versions of both, look for the packaging with gold accents. Coke Zero has two ingredients. Diet Coke lacks potassium citrate and acesulfame potassium. And Diet Coke has one ingredient not found in Coke Zero, citric acid. According to Anna Wheeler, Health and Nutrition Manager for Coca-Cola Great Britain, Coca-Cola Zero sugar looks and tastes more like Coca-Cola Classic, while Diet Coke has a lighter taste because it's made with a different blend of flavors. Okay, so that's what the execs say. But are they right? Well, in my head-to-head comparison, I chilled cans of Diet Coke and Coke Zero and drank them with no ice. Sipping Diet Coke reminds me of what a huge advance it was back in the 80s. It's smooth and sweet, and my first thought isn't, ugh, yeah, this is a diet soda. To me, it's enjoyable, it's bubbly, it goes well with a meal, and it's refreshing by itself. I've never confused it with a full sugar Coke, but it's still a top-notch diet beverage. Coke Zero was reformulated last summer, and in my Coke Zero review, I wasn't afraid to say I didn't love the new formula. I found it almost sour with a spiciness that older Coke Zero didn't have. And maybe it's changed, or maybe I've changed. But I didn't taste the sourness this time. Coke Zero was smoother and sweeter than Diet Coke, and I even found it more bubbly. If you haven't tried the new Coca-Cola beverage for 2022, you'll want to run to the store immediately. Which do we prefer? It's Coke Zero for the win. If a flight attendant or a vending machine gives me the choice, I'll zero in on Coke Zero every time. I know cola drinkers who are still mourning the Coke Zero formulation we lost last year, and I get it. When I first tested the old formula Coke Zero versus the new one, I vastly preferred the old one. But I can't live in the past. This Coke Zero is what we have now, and I'll drink to that. This is why Coke tastes better at McDonald's than anywhere else. And just what is the difference between Diet Coke and Coca-Cola Zero sugar? Well, you got to find out here in the Coca-Cola section if you click on that part. So, this was written by Gail Fashionbauer Cooper. They don't give a bio on her. So, she did the taste test. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, with this article, I'm glad that they were able to give Coke Zero a fair taste test with Diet Coke. One thing I don't like about Diet Coke, before Coke Zero came out in 2005, we were avid Diet Coke drinkers because we always wanted to save on the calories. You know, a regular Coca-Cola has 150 calories per can. Per can! So if you drink 2 cans, that's like a 300-calorie meal that you just drank down, literally. So that's why we always add for a Diet Coke. But over time, we realized that Diet Coke's flavor changed. It tasted synthetic. It tasted flat, even though it was popped right out of the can and poured in there. But sometimes you would get it through the fountain sodas, you know, the fountain drinks, because you would order it at the McDonald's or some restaurant, and it would come out of their dispensers. But some days the Diet Coke tasted so flat. Then in 2005, Coke Zero comes along and graces it with its presence. The first cans of zero sugar were actually black. Yes, to distinguish the difference between the red cans of regular Coca-Cola and the black cans of Coke Zero. I like the fact that they call it Coke Zero instead of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. I think they should go back to the black can to differentiate the difference between regular Coke and Coke Zero, for that matter. Diet Coke hasn't changed that much, as you can see the silver with the red. Of course, the logos might have changed a little bit too over the course of 40 years. And if you're an avid Diet Coke drinker, stay with it. If you're a Coke Zero drinker like me, you wouldn't want to change either. I know I myself, I like Cherry Coke Zero for a little extra flavor. Either way, one of the choices I would take, I would rather drink a regular Coke Zero, knowing that it was at least a regular Coca-Cola without the synthetical stuff in it. Yes, both have aspartame, and for that reason, I would rather drink a Coke Zero because it tastes a little bit more like regular Coke. Kind of like when you drink Diet Dr. Pepper, you know that it tastes like regular Dr. Pepper, for that matter. Either way, it's all based on taste, folks. You choose which one you like better, but now you know the differences between the two and what each one either lacks in ingredients or adds to their ingredients. All I know is, on Weight Watchers, you can have both of these, and it will not cost you any points. We'll be back with our next article, which is coming up. Why does Swiss cheese have holes in it? Oh, yeah. Very interesting article coming up. We're going to break the long tradition or the long unanswered question of why do they have holes in it when we come back with more DMS 3000 News Live right after this.
This Christmas, we're readier than ever to catch all the action with this brand new Kodak Extralight camera. The built-in flip-out flash means you're always ready. Ready in a flash to get those sharp, clear pictures you might have missed. Catch all your Christmas fun with a Ready in a Flash Extralight from those built-in flash people at Kodak.
Sunday. With the family business gone and her marriage failing, a ghost arrives from the past.
You need to be home.
The journey back rekindles memories, and a near tragedy brings the family together.
In the presence of love, there are miracles.
Lee Remick and Angela Lansbury star in The Gift of Love, A Christmas Story, Sunday. Climb aboard.
Next reindeer's due any minute.
It's those sensational California raisins in the Emmy-winning Claymation Christmas Celebration. Next.
This year, I'm not putting Duracell batteries under the trees.
Oh, no!
But they play more tapes.
Give you more flashes.
My mind's made up. But the toys. Duracell keeps them going up to 6 times longer than regular carbon batteries.
They have to go under the tree.
Nope. This year, I'm putting Duracell in the stockings. Duracell, a great stocking stuffer.
In the early 1900s, the toys kids wanted most for Christmas were a piggy bank and a Lionel train. In the 30s, kids' 2 favorites were tin soldiers and a Lionel train. By the 50s, it was coonskin caps and a Lionel. Every Christmas, kids have their favorite toys.
Midnight Flyer!
And every Christmas, one of them is a Lionel train. Why just give a toy when you can give a tradition? Lionel.
Get in the spirit of the season with a solid gold Christmas. Join Barry Manilow, Donna Summer, Anne Murray, and James Ingram. Plus Laura Branigan, Roberta Flack, John Schneider, and Jerry Reed. It's 40 holiday classics with Suzanne Summers, America, Sister Sledge, and hosts Crystal Gale and Rick Dees.
Deck the halls and spread the cheer.
There's a solid gold Christmas coming right here.
Saturday at 8 on Channel 2. There's only one.
For the special people on your gift list,
Giving Mr. Coffee is the delicious way to say Merry Christmas. Everyone would love to have Mr. Coffee. It's America's #1 coffee maker. Mr. Coffee with Coffee Saver brews delicious coffee fast, and it saves coffee, too. When you give Mr. Coffee for Christmas, every delicious cup will be a reminder of your thoughtfulness for years to come. This Christmas, give Mr. Coffee.
Hey kids, it's free. It's your brand new Christmas sticker book. Just look at all the fun you can have during Christmas with your free stickers, dot to dot, and lots of things to color. And just look at those stickers. It's neat, it's fun, and it's free. Just give Santa a visit at the mall that has everything else you want for Christmas. Now, listen close.
Different stickers are now available each week at Capitol Mall food merchants. Get your sticker book and collect all your stickers from Capitol Mall.
Mom, more presents for the kids? Oh, it's just a few things.
This Christmas, discover Hill's everyday low prices on every item we carry, from the big gifts to the stocking stuffers. When you add it all up, you'll see the difference Hill's everyday low prices can make. MasterCard and Visa now accepted.
Did you buy out the whole store? No, I'll have some for the other grandmothers. We're a different kind of discount store, and the proof is in the price. Check us out.
The holidays are a time for better values. That's why you should shop at Ames. Get this Kodak 35mm camera with built-in flash, just $39.88. And 3-pack Kodak color print film, only $8.49. Plus, all Stanley tools are now 25% off. And while you're at Ames, get details on the Stanley Secret to Security promotion. There are over $500,000 worth of prizes to win. So, for your holiday shopping, come to Ames. Ames, we grew up with better values.
We asked a cheese scientist to explain what gives cheese its characteristic holes, and Alyssa Sieberts is going to give us this fantastic article, which was updated yesterday, 2023. Cheese is probably one of the most beloved foods in the nation. If you're not getting healthy with a bowl of cottage cheese, you're slapping American cheese between slices of bread and growing up a hot and gooey classic. With its mild, versatile flavor, Swiss cheese is right up there with everyone's favorites. The fun holes don't hurt, though we have to wonder, why does Swiss cheese have holes at all? To get to the bottom of a question that's had us scratching our heads from breakfast to dinner, we spoke to a cheese expert. Read on to get all the fascinating food facts, including whether Swiss cheese is really from Switzerland and if it exists sans holes. Okay, so what is Swiss cheese? It's always described as the cheese with holes, says Mark Johnson, the PhD. He's a distinguished scientist at the Center for Dairy Research at the University of Wisconsin. I wonder if he's from Fond du Lac. It has a firm body and has a nutty but sweet flavor. It is also very low in salt compared to other cheeses. Given its name, the cheese's origin shouldn't be too tough to guess. Known as Emmenthal cheese, it's thought to have been made for the first time in Switzerland, specifically in the Alps in the 14th century. It was a hard cheese that had a long shelf life, and that could easily be transported down the mountains where it was made, adds Johnson. Today, however, the term Swiss cheese refers not to where the cheese comes from, but to the type of cheese. In other words, it all comes down to how the cheese is produced. Most Swiss in the U.S. is made in Ohio. The largest produce is Brewster cheese in Ohio, Johnson says, but other states also have Swiss cheese plants, including Wisconsin, Iowa, Utah, and perhaps others. So while its origins trace back to Switzerland, the Swiss cheese in your fridge was made in the good old U.S. of A. The flavor and texture of Swiss cheese make it ideal for piling on sandwiches, melting on top of soup or a hamburger, mixing it into a quiche, or adding to a whole bunch of other recipes. So here are some of the favorite uses for Swiss cheese: the Cuban sandwich, the Reuben, the French onion soup, mushroom and Swiss burger, ham and Swiss omelet, the muffalata, chicken cordon bleu, Philly cheesesteak, cheese fondue, and of course, mac and cheese. Wash it all down with a rich malty beer or crisp white wine. Both pair well with Swiss cheese's flavor. So why do Swiss cheese have holes? Everyone knows Swiss cheese is the holiest cheese, but few shoppers know what makes this type of cheese so different from the rest. So we asked the expert, why does Swiss cheese have holes? It comes down to how it's made, specifically the bacteria that is used in the production of Swiss cheese. Cheesemakers add a special bacteria called Propionibacterium shermani. Wow. This bacteria ferments lactic acid and produces carbon dioxide, explains Johnson. Carbon dioxide collects in certain spots in the cheese and produces a large bubble or eye. No other cheese uses this culture. Keep in mind that grocery stores today, you'll see different kinds of Swiss cheese, all of which share this signature characteristic. There are other versions of Swiss, such as Baby Swiss, Maasdam, Jarlsberg, and Emmentaler, that are made with Propionibacterium, so they all have eyes, he adds. This bacterium is what sets Swiss cheese apart from your other dairy favorites, from burrata to cheddar to squeaky cheese curds. Other cheeses lack the Propionibacterium that would give them holes. Can you buy Swiss cheese without the holes? Nope. Nor should you want to. Swiss cheese without eyes is called blind Swiss, but that is considered a defect, says Johnson. If you see a cheese labeled Swiss that doesn't have holes, it's not true Swiss cheese, and it won't have the taste or texture that you're looking for. So next time your dining companions ask, why does Swiss cheese have holes? You can confidently say it's all about bacteria. And speaking of your dairy choices, learn about the sneaky ingredient found in shredded cheese before your next trip to the supermarket. Mark Johnson, he's a distinguished scientist and the assistant director of the Center for Dairy Research in the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences at the University of Wisconsin, where he has worked for more than 30 years. His expertise lies in the development, manufacturing, and ripening protocols for unique cheeses. And of course, Alyssa Sieberts is a wellness and lifestyle writer and editor who covers food, cooking, and science for Reader's Digest, Food and Wine, Southern Living, All Recipes, and more. An avid hiker and reader of romance, she is also the author of the OMAD Diet. All right. Well, that is a fantastic article if I've ever seen one before. We have time for another one because that was very short. So, does the color of windshield wiper fluid matter? Well, you know that, of course, windshield wiper fluid in your car helps to keep not only the bugs off of your windshield and, of course, clean the windshield, but there's other uses as well, too, that is good for specific temperatures and all of that. So we're going to look at that right now, and I'm going to pull it up on the bookmarks. And then we have a very special article that I was telling you about yesterday that we'll talk about that's coming up later. And I mean in the second half hour of this. So let's go ahead and look at this particular one here. The color of the windshield wiper fluid, does it matter? Well, Robert Lesavita will tell us about this one. This was December 4, 2023. Windshield wiper fluid's only job is to assist in the cleaning of the windshield so you can drive safely. But does its color matter? Well, as a General Motors master technician for 27 years, an ASE master technician since 1978, and an automotive technology teacher currently preparing the next generation of automotive service professionals, I know about the topic of car fluid service inside and out. Running out of windshield wiper fluid, aka washer fluid, is a major annoyance, especially if you're trying to see through dirt and snow while driving. And like its distant cousin, antifreeze, windshield wiper fluid comes in assorted colors. The color of antifreeze is used to indicate its type and the additives the original equipment manufacturers specify to protect engines from overheating and corrosion. But no colored standards currently exist for windshield wiper fluid. The colors are mostly cosmetic. Different colored windshield wiper fluids are usually dyed for marketing purposes and, depending on the brand, can indicate different things. Usually, blue is the standard year-round fluid, effective for dust and road dirt. Green is good for summer driving, effective as a bug remover. Orange is the all-season with the de-icer, effective against ice and road salt. Yellow, never saw that one before, but winter with the de-icer, effective for melting off the ice off the windshield with freeze protection up to negative 34 degrees. And purple is the concentrated wiper fluid mix for summer. Regardless of the color, read the label to determine if the windshield wiper fluid you plan to purchase meets your vehicle's specific needs. If your vehicle has a rain-sensing wiper system, choose washer fluid that doesn't leave streaks and thoroughly cleans the windshield. Residue left on the windshield can confuse the rain-sensing infrared sensor located next to the rear view mirror, keeping the wipers on even if it's not raining. And does it matter what windshield wiper fluid I use? Well, it depends. Blue washer fluid works fine for most applications. It's important to use a wiper fluid containing de-icer during the winter if you live in colder climates with frequent snow. Look for bug remover windshield wiper fluid if you spend a significant amount of time driving on highways. There are no standards for windshield wiper fluid ingredients. The fluid is mostly water and may include additives such as methanol, ethanol, isopropyl, or denatured alcohol, ammonia, dyes, mild degreasers, detergents, and ethylene glycol, or the antifreeze. Most washer fluids contain surfactants, which are chemicals that help the wiper squeegees evenly spread the washer fluid to better clean the windshield. Some manufacturers no longer use methanol because it is a hazardous liquid, or denatured alcohol because it can ruin a vehicle's paint. Can you put water in windshield wiper fluid? Yes, but you shouldn't. Water will dilute windshield wiper fluid's cleaning ability and make it more likely to leave streaks on your windshield. More important, the washer fluid reservoir, hoses, nozzles, and washer pump can freeze and crack if you forget to empty the water before the temperature drops below freezing. Can you make your own windshield wiper fluid? Yes, there are many homemade windshield wiper fluid recipes people can try out. Most are affordable and usually very eco-friendly. Here's a basic recipe if you'd like to write this down. 32 ounces of white vinegar. Other types of vinegar can stain paint or windshield glass. 96 ounces of water, preferably distilled. 3 to 4 drops of Dawn dish detergent. A clean 1-gallon jug. And mix all the ingredients, then pour into the washer fluid reservoir. Cut the vinegar to 16 ounces and replace with 16 ounces of isopropyl alcohol for winter weather. Pay attention to the ingredients when concocting homemade windshield wiper fluid. Here's a true story. It was snowing. My washer reservoir was empty, and the dealership where I worked was out of washer fluid. I needed something for the long ride home. Someone suggested using alcohol from the body shop. Mix it 50-50 with water, they said. It'll be fine. Unfortunately, what I grabbed was denatured alcohol. The following week, I found the denatured alcohol had completely stained the paint on the roof and hood, resulting in an expensive paint job. Wow. So, can I mix different colored windshield wiper fluid? Yes, if you must, but it's not recommended. Mixing different types of colors of washer fluids isn't dangerous. However, mixing washer fluids reduces the benefits of each, often making the resulting fluid less effective. Here's a pro tip. The best windshield wiper fluid will not make up for worn or damaged wiper squeegees. In my experience, the windshield washer fluid reservoir is one of the most overlooked maintenance items in our vehicles. Replace it if there is scum, muck, or rust buildup that can clog or damage the washer fluid pump. And there you have it, folks. Very good information by Robert Lasavita. He's an award-winning auto technician, technical educator, and freelance writer who covers do-it-yourself car repairs and vehicle maintenance topics, as well as writing state, federal, and organizational foundation grants. He helped design a unique curriculum delivery model that integrates rigorous, relevant academic standards seamlessly into technical vocational training. His work has been featured in the Family Handyman, a Reader's Digest book, and Classic Bike Rider magazine, among other publications. Bob and his wife lived through 20 years of do-it-yourself home remodeling while parenting 2 now grown boys. And they now relax by watching their 3 fabulous granddaughters. Congratulations on a fantastic family, Robert Lasaveda. All right, when we come back, this is the big, Yep. So we'll come over here, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up our program very much. There are a couple of announcements I have for you as well to send you on your way. And, of course, we'll look at the motivation of the day as well. All this and more as we wrap up this Friday edition of DMS 3000 News Live when we come back right after this.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off.
Stop the clapper.
Let you turn things on or off from anywhere in the room. Just plug in the clapper and a television, lamp, stereo, almost anything you want to clap on and off.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off.
Stop
the clapper.
Clapper is available at Meyer, Perry, Hills, and Osco.
A Christmas secret is finally revealed. It's Santa's Magic Childhood. From the creator of The Wizard of Oz, a 1-hour special, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, Saturday at 8.
The best relief from this hectic season is a jingle away. Ring in the holiday in 30 minutes or less. Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Taste of scratch joins your celebrations. The taste of Lyman mixes right on holiday occasions. Sprite makes brighter holidays. Lyman is the reason. Sprite goes well so many ways to bring you cheer this season. Got a Christmas story to tell, and you really want to tell it well. Get it, don't forget it, on Kodak film. You'll feel better when you say I got it.
Every picture tells a story. Capture the color of Christmas this year on fresh Kodak film.
I got it. I gotta say I got
I got it. Kodak wishes you some merry, merry pictures.
Well, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. It's episode 83 on this Friday, December 8th, 2023. The end of the week is here, and boy, oh boy, we hope you had a fantastic time with us so far. We've got about 15 minutes left of the program with some announcements to come up with, and of course, our special Christmas episodes, which we're going to be highlighting in the next few weeks here. We've got about 17 days, so hopefully you've gotten your Christmas shopping done. We'll talk about how you can make this holiday shopping season very merry and still be wallet friendly with your budget, because you all know what's going to happen next month when you have that credit card bill and you have to pay it off. So in some way, shape, or form, we'll give you some fantastic gift hits and highlights. Want to let you also know that a Charlie Brown Christmas celebrates 58 years tomorrow. Yes, December 9th was the first release of the classic Peanuts Christmas special that aired in 1965, 58 years ago. 2 more years, and it's going to celebrate 60 years as a classic Christmas cartoon for all ages. But for those who grew up with it in its first runs, that's memorable for you folks. And you know the story. And I don't have to explain it, but I think Linus gives us a great message every year when we realize, doesn't anybody know what Christmas is all about? And it's true. Linus gives that great story in front of all of his friends, walks over to Charlie Brown and says, "That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown." We'll play you that. Also next week on the program, you've seen the commercials for the Hershey Kisses jingle, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. We're going to look at the history of that particular commercial. Goes all the way back to 1989. We're going to give you the history of how they came about it, some animational sequences, and something new that they threw in, but they got rid of, thank God. And they tried to doctor it up in 2015, but they realized that everybody wrote in and says, no, bring back the original. It stinks. I know, they played it for a little while. The kid's cute. The father's great. You know which one I'm talking about. They start off with the jingle bell, and then she picks it up and takes it off the screen into the next scene with her dad making Christmas cookies with Hershey Kisses. I mean, you know, they were trying to mix it up, but realized you can't destroy a classic like that. You're going to see some more Christmas commercials, of course, next week as well, and the weeks following too. Now, just so you know, our Christmas show on Christmas Day will be as scheduled. 4 o'clock. We'll be here for a 2-hour show that literally will be talking about some Christmas commentaries from the religious side of it. We don't really talk about the religious side of things, but there's going to be some great Christmas messages. We're also going to have fantastic Christmas songs that are going to bring us in and out of the commercials. So definitely take a look at that. We'll also look at some of the lyrics of the history of some of the fantastic songs. Also let you know that 78-year-old Brenda Lee is now the #1 Christmas artist with her song Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. She's still alive to this day, and she enjoys the #1 top spot, outnumbering Mariah Carey. Outnumbering Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, which was #1 for the last 30-some odd years. It was time for a change, and it finally happened. All right. With about 10 minutes left, let's look at our fantastic motivation of the day. This one is a good one. Of course, Ralph Marston is our fantastic daily motivator. He writes these every day. And today, Friday, December 8th, great way to end the week, starts with this one. The best within you. Perhaps today is not your best day, and it's likely you're not in an ideal situation. Nonetheless, you can visualize what you would do if you were, in fact, experiencing your best day. And you can, to the best of your ability, work on doing it. You can imagine how you would move forward if indeed you were in an ideal situation. And you can incorporate elements of that response into the existing situation. External circumstances certainly have their impact, yet your internal drive, purpose, motivation, and concept of yourself also have important roles to play. The best within you is always present always possible, even in the worst of situations. And it is precisely at those times that the best version of yourself can come forward to push life in a more positive direction. No matter where you go, no matter what you encounter, you carry with you the desire and ability to make a difference. When that ability is called for, when it's needed most, reach inside, call it up, and put it to good use. Thank you, Ralph Marston, for another great daily motivating message. And boy, oh boy, is it a good one for that. I'm Jason Icanio, and thanking you once again for a fantastic show and a fantastic week. We hope that you had fun and, of course, learned a lot always. Episode 84 comes at you on Monday with the Christmas theme stuff going on the next 2 weeks. We'll have the Christmas backgrounds here in the background of the show where you guys watch us. They change all the time, too, with the different overlays. Of course, we have our Merry Christmas theme opening, and, of course, we'll be playing that throughout the rest of the Christmas season. Then on January 1st, we're going to be looking at some new themes to open up our show with, some different music to kind of mix it up a little bit. We like to keep things a little bit different and mix things up every 10, 20 episodes if we can. And if you like the music, great. Drop us a line and always kind of give us that feedback that we always want here. Do comment on the show and do share your thoughts. We don't disable any comments. We hope that you will, of course, comment professionally and maturely, even if it's a negative comment. I'm Jason Icanio. Thank you again. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Democracy Network for great more content like this one.